Hello, my name is Jessica Stone. Today I will be looking at the principles of the PRECEDE-PROCEED model and analyzing if the condom promotion program follows this model. Since we've used this paper several times, I won't spend a lot of time giving a summary of the paper. As a refresher, this program was conducted in India. The researchers that conducted it found that HIV rates were really high among men engaging in commercial sex, so they implemented this program with two main goals. One, to increase access to condoms, and two, to increase condom usage among men engaging in commercial sex by influencing a positive behavior change. So now let's quickly look at the phases of the PRECEDE-PROCEED model. There are 8 phases altogether, but they are broken up between PRECEDE and PROCEED. The phases are 1. Social assessment, 2. Epidemiological, behavioral, and environmental assessment, 3. Educational and ecological assessment, 4. Administrative and policy assessment and intervention alignment. Moving to the PROCEED portion now. 5. Implementation, 6. Process evaluation, 7. Impact evaluation, and 8. Outcome evaluation. So now let's begin analyzing the program to this model. Phase 1 is social assessment. This phase is used to determine the target audience's perception of their own needs and quality of life. The condom promotion program did not really align well with this phase. The target audience in this case were men who were not using condoms with sex workers. Their own perceptions of their own needs were not really there, and that had to do with their beliefs surrounding condoms. This program wasn't birthed from their perceptions, but instead it came from an overall population problem. The next phase is phase 2, epidemiological, behavioral, and environmental assessment. This phase determines which health problems are most prevalent within the specific target populations within the community. This is a step that the program followed the most closely, as the entire study was created based off of the same type of assessments. The epidemiological assessment was that there was a high rate of HIV. Then, the behavioral assessment asked the question, what are the beliefs held about condoms and commercial sex? And the environmental assessment could be interpreted as assessing the rates of commercial sex as well as the access to condoms. Next is phase 3, educational and ecological assessment. In this phase, the program conductors must try to identify the behavioral and environmental determinants or risk factors for the health problems that were identified and selected in phase 2. This is another very crucial step to the condom promotion program. Behavior factors that were determined to be the beliefs that the condoms user all had in common. The program conductors then used these beliefs of the behaviors, aka the condom users, as the basis of their messages taught. And the environmental factors could be the increased access to condoms. So overall, the basis of this phase is that it attempts to influence the likelihood that behavioral and environmental changes will occur. Because this stage is attempting to influence a behavior change, it's important to establish a behavior theory to use as a guide. Using a theory as a guide not only allows the message to be focused, but it acts as a framework for the program. To choose a theory to use, it's important that the 3 F's of the program planning are evaluated in order to choose the most appropriate one. The 3 F's are fluidity, meaning how fluid is the model, flexibility, what is the flexibility of the model, and functionality, how does the model function within your chosen community. Now we're to phase 4, administrative and policy assessment and intervention alignment. In this stage, the model attempts to identify resources, organizational barriers and facilitators, and policies that are needed for the program implementation and sustainability. I would definitely say that the condom promotion program does not align with this phase. The whole study was based off a lack of resources in the form of condoms, and organizationally there were no barriers. Phase 5, implementation. This is when you would evaluate if the program is ready to be implemented and data collection plans should be in place. The condom promotion program did follow this, as there were follow-up surveys and the researchers did conduct data. Phase 6, process evaluation. This phase is used to determine the extent to which the program was implemented according to the protocol planned. For the condom promotion program, I'm unsure if it followed this, as it was not reported within the paper. Phase 7, impact evaluation. This is when the model assesses change in predisposing, reinforcing, and enabling factors and examines change in behavioral and environmental factors. The program did follow this, as the data collection used was essentially to determine the impact of their program. They found an increase in condom usage, but also a change in positive beliefs towards condoms and commercial sex. And finally, Phase 8, outcome evaluation. This is where you determine the effect of the program on health and quality of life indicators. I would argue that the program did follow this, as this phase is similar to Phase 7. The outcome of this program was also measuring the impact of their program. So now, as we begin concluding, let's discuss the PRECEDE-PROCEED model and the community-based participatory research principles. First, let's discuss the core tenets of CBPR. They are: 1. Community is the unit of identity. 2. Builds on strengths and resources within the community. 3. Facilitates collaborative, equitable partnership in all phases of research. 4. Promotes co-learning and capacity building among all partners. 5. Integrates and achieves balance between research and action for mutual benefit of all partners. 6. Emphasizes an ecological model of health and local relevance of public health problems. 7. Involves systems development through cyclical and iterative process. 8. Disseminates findings and knowledge gained to all partners and involves all partners in the dissemination process. And lastly, 9. Involves long-term process and commitment. So now that we've looked at the core tenets, in conclusion, while the condom promotion program somewhat follows the steps of the PRECEDE-PROCEED model, the model itself omits some of the principles that would classify it as a community-based participatory research program. For example, using this condom promotion program, the promotion program does not build on strengths of the community or the resources of the community. This whole study came about because of the weaknesses and the lack of resources within that community. And lastly, there's weak collaboration. In this case, the researchers consulted the population to gather their beliefs, and then they engaged the population to teach their program. But this is really the extent of working together. There's no real collaborative effort on both parts. Thank you.